Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to preview and also give a few things of how we can win the American League Division Series versus the Chicago White Sox. First game is Thursday. So, how do the Astros match up against the White Sox? Well, pretty well. Both offenses are fantastic. I believe their on base is second in the American League, and the Astros are first, which is the big statistic. They have a very good offense. We have a very good offense. They have a great pitching staff, the best one in the American League by ERA, and the best bullpen by ERA, FIP, and expected FIP. They are no joke. But the Astros match up pretty well with them. They did pretty well with them earlier in the season, so hopefully we can, win the series. Now, on to the actual things of my reasoning for how we can beat them, right? I came up with a few things, and there's one big difference this year from last year when I was doing previews for the playoff series. Because last year, the Astros were really the underdogs in all of the playoff series they played, which granted we would lose the ALCS, but we were not projected really to do anything to the Twins. We weren't projected to win the ALDS last year, and we won both of those series, and we ended up pushing the Rays to Game 7. So we ended up doing pretty well, whereas this season, I kind of had to scrape for things of what we might need to do to win, because really it's just sort of, I don't want to say something very cocky like, oh, it's a no-brainer, the Astros are going to win. But the Astros match up incredibly well against the White Sox. We have home field advantage, and we have a great team again this season. Last year, we had a pretty poor offense. We lost more games than we won. And I was scraping for things and any reason I could possibly find to why we might be able to somehow pull off a miracle series win, whereas this season, it's sort of the opposite. We are pretty well projected to win this series. I believe Fangraphs and Baseball Reference both have us as the odds-on favorite to win the American League, and we're kind of the top dogs again this season. So my first thing that I have to say for how they can win, it sounds really cop-out-ish, but just keep doing what you're doing. The Astros played 7 games against the White Sox this year. They won 5 of the 7. They won the first 5 against them. They were dominant. The Astros did really well. They blew them out in some games, and they were able to win a very, very, very close one-run game that was low scoring. So we know how to do both. Along with that, we also won 95 games this year. We won 3 postseason rounds last year. 2 postseason rounds last year, excuse me. And we were in the World Series not that long ago. Granted, different manager, but mostly the same core. The Astros know how to win. And so, as silly as it sounds and obvious, you know how to do it. You know how to beat the White Sox. Just keep on keeping on, and that really, hopefully, should work a bit. As for the first reason that I actually came up with that isn't just, oh, keep on winning, yuck, 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 yuck. It's defense. Defense. All right, the Astros have an incredible defense. Number 2 league-wide in all of MLB in outs above average. 44 outs above average. We are second only to the Cardinals, but that barely counts because the Cardinals have Nolan Arenado. God, remember when the Rockies paid $50 million to not have Nolan Arenado on their team? People don't forget. Whereas the White Sox are 15th in MLB in outs above average with -3. So, a big thing for this series, the Astros all season long have done great putting the ball in play, and I've preached about that a few times, where the Astros are making their own luck by putting the ball in play so much, making the other teams have to make defensive plays. For this series, a big thing is going to be, if both teams put the ball in play a lot, the Astros are probably going to win it. The Astros have a great defense. Weakly hit ground balls, and almost any fly ball should be an out for the Astros. Whereas for the White Sox, hopefully we can just put it in play a lot and make their defenders have to make plays on it. I'm not saying just bunt every time and hope you get bad throws, but maybe lay down a bunt every once in a while. We have speed. If this becomes a series of contact, I really think the Astros are going to walk away with it. The next one is to pitch out of the zone for the Astros, which this is going to work pretty well because a lot of the Astros pitchers don't necessarily have control issues, I wouldn't directly say, but they pitch out of the zone a lot. And for reference, right, the White Sox are pretty undisciplined. The Astros were first, which is best, in the American League in strikeouts this season. The White Sox ranked 9th, which is not great. And plate discipline-wise, it's also not great. The Astros were 5th league-wide in chase rate, whereas the White Sox were 22nd, and that ain't great. So, they're more willing to chase the ball, put it out of the zone. They're probably going to go for it. And if they make contact, And that's fine. It's going to be weak contact. It's going to be hit to an infielder or an outfielder. And as I just talked about, our defense is fantastic, and they should be able to make plays on it. But if they don't, which is also likely, that's also good for us. The Astros this season, first in whiff percentage, whereas the White Sox were 17th in whiff percentage this season. They swing and miss a lot. They swing out of the zone a lot. And for a guy like Lance McCullers, Framber Valdez, and Luis Garcia, that's going to play really well for them. They always really go out of the zone a lot, especially a guy like Lance McCullers, which is great for the Astros. Number next, do the damage against the starting pitchers. Now, their starting rotation is already pretty darn good, but we've shown that we can beat up on them. The Astros this season bullied Keuchel. We did it to Cease. We did it to Lance Lynn. We got a win, if I'm not mistaken, off of Giolito, too. So we can beat the starting rotation, even though they're pretty darn good, right? I'm nervous about them, right? Because they have a great starting rotation, especially mainly Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, and Carlos Rodon, excuse me. But the bullpen is terrifying. I already mentioned it. Best bullpen league-wide. Number 1 in FIP, number 1 in ERA, number 1 in expected FIP. They are a deadly unit coming out of that pen. If the Astros want to win the series, a lot of the damage is going to have to come against the starting pitchers. Not that some of those starting pitchers don't scare me a little bit, but I would much rather have to try to find ways to get runs off those starters than a guy like Liam Hendricks, who probably should win American League Reliever of the Year. The dude has been insane, and also, even though he's been pretty terrible since migrating to the south side of Chicago, I still don't want to have to find ways to get runs off of Craig Kimbrell, because people don't forget about 2018, where he pretty well dominated us in the ALCS. The last thing, if you can even call it that, is we're going to send Lance McCullers Jr. to the mound in Game 1. That game is a must-win. He is the ace of our rotation. It's going to be in Minute Maid. The first game in Minute Maid for the playoffs since 2019, which if you remember the last game in Minute Maid during the playoffs in 2019, wasn't fun. Neither was the game before that, or the game before that, or the game before that. The game before that, however, was actually probably one of the best postseason games in Minute Maid Park history. Debatably, it was. Actually, it probably was the best game in Minute Maid Park history for postseason. Either that or the Game 5 walk-off. They were both great. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Game 1 is a must-win. You're going to be with our fans. You have the home field advantage. Your ace is on the mound. And obviously, if you take the first game of a 5-game series like this, that exponentially lifts your chances of winning the series, which I'm going to go out and say it. I do really think the Astros are going to win the series against the White Sox. Poe, I'm sorry. But I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think this is going to be a series where the Astros just waltz all over them. It's not going to be like 2018 when they completely destroyed the Indians. It's not going to be like 17 when we destroyed the Red Sox. Not going to be like last year when we pretty well handled the A's. This is going to be a 2019 type series. This is going to go to 5. I don't see a world where either team loses in 4. I think it's going to 5, but I do think the Astros are going to end up winning it and clinching the series back in Minute Maid Park. Oh, man. But this is going to be a brutal dogfight. These are two very, very evenly matched teams with pretty much evenly matched everything. The ERA plus of both teams, I think it's like a 2 or 3 point differential, and the OPS plus for both teams is like a 2 or 3 point differential. And the Astros are slightly better at offense. The White Sox are slightly better at pitching. So this is going to be a heck of a series. And it sucks that it's going to be midday because it's going to be a really fun watch. I am pretty well excited. I'm also excited to do streams. I did a test stream last night that worked pretty well. The audio was good. Everything my setup worked well. So I'm going to be streaming every playoff game the Astros play this season. I got asked, and I'm going to say it here as well. I'm probably going to start 15 minutes or so before game time. So the first game is 4:07 Eastern, 3:07 Central. I'll probably get on about 3:50, 3:55, right around there. So hopefully, I just hop on here. We watch Lance McCullers set the pace of the series, getting the Game 1 victory. I'm looking forward to it. I am really looking forward to the stream. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I'm looking forward to everything. It's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped up. Anyway, that is all I have to say for the afternoon. If you guys liked the video and are looking forward to the postseason, please consider subscribing. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Stros.